Hello, there you are. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Doing good.
Excellent. You have
Still
on...
waiting. Oh, there we go. It just said Facebook is starting.
Very good. This whole... My goodness. The streaming is the future, but it's a pain in the posterior to get going. On the left-hand side of your screen is Eric Kinney. On the right here, I'm Seymour Segnet. And it's your weekly update from MAGFAST. Thanks for being here. We're thrilled to have you as part of the family. What does it say up here? It is Friday the 15th of December. My goodness. Moving pace. Today, by the way, is the very last day to get in your application for what's it called? The Obamacare, the healthcare, the exchanges, the healthcare 2018. Today. I just got an email saying today was the last day to get it in. So what have we been up to this week? Still more refinement of the Pogo things. In fact, I can actually show you a little bit of that because I got an email from Sean just now. Here's our little tips. In fact, if I I'm going to have to screen share, am I, to show you that? No, you're watching my screen anyway. So let me zoom in on me quickly and just remind you what the PogoPins are about. Come on. Zoom in on... No, that's not it. Speaker view. Here we go. And now zoom in on me. There we go. So if I show you the PogoPins, these are the little metal connectors, right? Okay, so here's the bottom of wall. There's wall like that. Here's road as an example. And they have these little pin connectors on the bottom. These tiny little guys here that connect and make the strongest. They're going to be making the strongest connections. All these different ways of connecting with wireless charging or with a wire, or with your MAGFAST connection. The MAGFAST connection is the one that's super fast. It's our unique patent pending feature. And so I just thought I would show you quickly some engineering drawings of some work that's going on that. And just point out a couple of features of it that you can see much better here than when I've been showing them you in the past. So one is that there's a square and a circle. And I mentioned this to you the other week, but you've got positive here and negative here. And so the square and the circle means that you can't ever touch the negative to the positive and the positive to the negative by mistake, right? Remember we spoke about that the other week, Eric? No?
Yep.
He remembers nothing. So that's that.
I was nodding, but you guys don't see it on screen. So.
And then the other thing is that the contacts here, and this kind of beigey orangey color represents the kind of the gold, the metallic connector. Do you see how it's kind of below the surface there? So if you were to put the whole thing down on a metal surface, the connector wouldn't connect and wouldn't short out. It's low voltage anyway. And then on top of that, of course, the circuits inside, so that if something does go wrong, if there is a short out, then it'll cut off any bit. But I just thought it's interesting to see the kind of multiple layers of that. And here's a little bit more. Here it is seen from underneath of the board, holding it together there. Here you can sort of see that the pins are made up of kind of cylinders, and you can see that this pin will go in and out here with a very, very slight kind of spring loading system. Here's another angle from the other side. Right, so this is we saw the male side just now. Right, I'm sorry they're not in a better order here. So here's the male side where it's sticking out, right, which is the providing the power side. All right, if we switch back to me quickly here, so the power comes out of the bottom, for instance, of wall. So the bump, what they call the male side, is the power out. All right, so here's power out. And then the female is the receiving side, and you can see that the one nests into the other very nicely. So all this stuff, I tell you, man, you think it's easy, but it just takes time. It takes time to do it properly. So thank you for your patience as we do this and do it well for you. We just really want to make something that you're just thrilled when it arrives, and you're still thrilled with it 3, 4, 5. Years from now. Okay, I think that's all I have. We're busy, obviously, with our 2018 planning. There is a whole lot of work we were doing yesterday, sorting out some stuff for the new year that not quite fully baked enough to tell you about yet, but stuff that I think that you're going to enjoy. This really has been actually. I don't know what you think, Eric. Let's put Eric alongside me here, but it feels like this year, 2000 and what's the one we're in now? 17. It's been like building blocks, kind of ready to start expanding on more pre-orders, possibly investment, certainly manufacturing, and so on in 2018. So, okay. Do you have any questions from hello@magfast.com? By the way, hello@magfast.com. If you have any questions, and Eric's got one or two lined up, I think, for us.
Yep, a few came in. So a couple of questions and some comments on last week's. This first one is a question from Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
And she asks, is it possible to overcharge a device by leaving it plugged in well after the 100% charge has been reached? And she says, I never leave a device charging overnight.
So the short modern day answer is no, it isn't possible to overcharge. If you have modern day chargers, modern day phones, modern day other things that charge, the answer is no. They all have circuits built into to prevent overcharging, and so you're fine. You can just leave the thing on there, and when the so I guess I should get my charger out here, shouldn't I? So here's a charger, and here's an item that you might be charging. Right? Let's put it that way around. Okay. So this item on here happens to be a MAGFAST Rode with the built-in flashlight, always ready when you're on the road. So, but the item that you're charging and the charger in this case, they have electronics and they communicate with one another. So when this one is full, it says I'm full, I don't need any more charge, and this one will slow down and cut off, and then they'll just check in with each other kind of every now and then. The question is, if you have a 20-year-old power drill with a power pack and its charger, you probably want to be a little bit more careful with some of the old stuff. But with anything in the last few years, you're going to be absolutely fine, and there's no need to be concerned about it. Okay? So depending on the age of your stuff, Sharon,
I think leaving it or charging overnight is the easiest way to wake up in the morning with it ready to go. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure as I'd be able to live without overnight charging. Okay, what's next?
So then we have some comments from people from last week's video where we kind of previewed the gift selection.
Yeah. So if you weren't with us last week, where were you? And what we did was we went through. We're putting together a program. It's basically kind of it's designed to be a win-win-win. Like it's helps us to drive volume, helps you with some nice free stuff, helps the factory with volume to get the prices down and stuff. But it's basically a program where we're going to be giving away some free wall chargers. Last week we took folks through the whole cart, showing how you get the wall, and then you add your name and everything so we can get it to you. And then there's the option to add other accessories at a great price. And we're kind of excited about it for next year. So these are one or two questions related to that. Yes, Eric?
Yes, and you can review it back at magfast.com/updates.
Yes, you can. You can just watch last week's video. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's some of the comments on that. Eliza says, I would still like to order the 5 gifts plus add-ons for family members. I've listened and watched the original video again, but I didn't see a link. Can you help me out? Yeah,
so with the things, we haven't done the link yet. We kind of gave it to you as a bit of a sneak peek. Eric is still polishing up some of the rough edges. It's hard to believe that there are any rough edges from what you saw last week, or indeed looking at Eric now. It's hard to believe that there could be a rough edge, but he's still polishing up one or two bits and pieces. And what I think I mentioned last week, we kind of felt like we've got several thousand customers. God bless you. Welcome if you're one of our existing customers. We've also got tens of thousands of people who are kind of on the list and watching what we're doing. And we felt like if we gave everybody free gifts to give everybody just before Christmas, there would be a risk of kind of like a run on the bank, as it were. In other words, so many people coming in, customer service would be overwhelmed. And we're just determined. We've all been involved in companies in the past that haven't managed the flow of business kind of well enough, and we're just determined to pace this thing properly. So in the new year, we'll roll this out to a few folks, make sure everything's fine, make sure the thing works properly. We're obviously testing it ourselves, but there's nothing like putting something out there for people to find the things that you've missed. So come the new year, there will be free walls for everybody, free walls for everybody to give to other people. And thank you for your patience waiting for that. But it's pretty cool, as you know, if you saw last week.
And another one, just kind of echoing the same thing. Can't wait until we're able to order gifts for family members.
Yep.
But they know that they do need to wait. Another one that was a little bit confused, thinking that they could do it right away. I saw the latest video update and wanted to give a wall and a couple of accessories to my son-in-law, great guy, but I don't know how to get to the gift page for the freebies and the add-ons.
Yeah.
So just a little bit of that same
confusion.
Yeah,
so the same. Yes. Hey, but look, thank goodness, is it the son-in-law?
Yes.
He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be grateful for that. There's nothing worse than the rogue family member, especially with Christmas coming up, with the holidays coming up. I'm sorry, you were about to say, Eric.
They put a PS on here. I love the idea the people who watch the videos would get some kind of bonus. So
okay, so
they keyed in on that.
Did I say that? All right, so
go back and review last week's third.
So I remember saying that. Yeah, so we will definitely we'll definitely do that when we roll it out. Okay, E, anything else?
Well, those were the ones that are kind of some feedback that I pulled out. But there is another question here, and it is got a couple little things. It's a little bit longer. I'll just read through it.
Sure.
Hi, you asked for some feedback on your gift package. I found that people are either in the Apple camp or the Android camp. So I'm wondering why the family cables you've included in your add-ons include both Lightning and USB, one of each. I think they meant micro USB. And I realized that you can't customize the bundle for everyone, but could the choice be 2 Lightning, 2 USB-C, or one of each?
Okay, so let me just do the setup for that. So all of these power banks, right? So Life, Road, Life Extreme, which is the bigger one that can jumpstart your car, and Time for the watch. So we call those the power banks, right? And they all come with the built-in cable. And one of the things if you've ever done inventory management and that kind of thing, you start to realize how surprisingly challenging these things are that seem simple. So we need to ship it with a cable. Like if we shipped it with all the cables, we know that 2 cables would be wasted and thrown away a lot of the time. And furthermore, the manufacturing cost of doing all 3 cables when 2 of them are wasted is ridiculous. So Apple in particular, they charge like a $5 tax per cable or something per tip every time we do it. So it doesn't make so we need to include a cable. So we're going to include the micro USB, which is the most commonly used cable at the moment, is going to be included. And then when we were showing you the selector last week, there's a chance to add the Lightning and the USB-C, and we're doing them as a pack together. And this is just one of those choices you have to make. The suggestion, do we know the name of the person who made that suggestion just
Peggy.
now? So Peggy, it's a really good suggestion, and we won't go out with it immediately, but it actually is in our next layer of plans to give more choices with which cables you pick up. And this is the whole thing about, and I really appreciate, Peggy, you said that we can't customize everything for everybody, because that shows a real depth of kind of understanding of how hard it is to sort of mass produce and then to customize. So we have to pick something to get started with. What we've done is a really great deal on the 2 cables, so it's kind of like you're kind of paying for 1 but getting 2. So hopefully that works out, and then we will give more choices going along. The other one of the reasons, by the way, is the more not just in terms of the shipping logistics and so on, and manufacturing and placing orders, but the other thing is the more choices you give folks, the more complicated the interface becomes. So we showed you the cart last week. How long have we spent on it, Eric? 4 months, something like that altogether since we very first mocked it up to now. Something like 4 months working on trying to make it incredibly simple for you to make what amounts to thousands and thousands of different combinations of things. And so giving more refinement on the cables is something we'll do, but we want to make sure that it doesn't then make it too much longer.
What we're doing already.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. That's your update, I think, unless there's another one.
Yeah. Well, she just added in some things here that she watches regularly and keep up the great work, hoping Amy feels better, and asking if we'll see Amanda again.
Yes, we will see Amanda again in the new year. She's just been working slightly different time slots recently, But Amanda is very, very hard at work. She just isn't here with us at this
We'll have to pass along to her that she's being asked about.
Yes, we will do that. And thank you for asking about Amy. Amy is getting better every day, but it's surprisingly slow. I don't know if anyone else finds this. When I was a kid, you got sick and you were better in a few days. And it seems to me that these lurgies that go around these days, they just seem to last a lot longer. Everyone seems to be coughing for 3 weeks instead of 3 days and that sort of thing. Is it just me? I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Peggy. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everyone else who wrote in. hello@magfast.com. hello@magfast.com. And we will do... I will actually be in the UK next week, but we'll do a little update from Blighty for you next Friday. I think we'll probably take the one off in between Christmas and New Year, if that's okay. And then be back with bells on early in the new year. So that's it.
Sounds like a plan.
Good. That's it for this week. Thank you so much. You're incredible. hello@magfast.com. We'll see you the same time, same place next week. Thanks a lot, Eric.